Today's Mustang news is going to focus on all things electric. We're going to talk about the push for electric vehicles within the industry, Ford's latest electric offerings, and a couple updates on the Ford Mustang Mach-E. There's a lot of buzz right now about the end of gas-powered vehicles, and will we see that in our lifetime? Now, a lot of these manufacturers are pushing towards zero emissions. So does that mean the end of gas? More than likely, yes. Is it going to be all electric? Well, that still remains to be seen. I mean, right now, the governor of California is pushing for California to only sell electric vehicles, or I should say non-gas powered vehicles, by 2035. Now, that's going to be cars only, and then 10 years later, they want all medium and light duty trucks to also be zero emissions. Now, this order was actually signed on the hood of a new Mustang Mach-E, and a lot of manufacturers feel that California's timeline is a bit too aggressive to actually get it done there, but most manufacturers are putting a lot of money into electric vehicles. Now, Ford is spending billions of dollars in the US to convert vehicles to electric, and is spending over $1 billion in the Cologne, Germany plant to basically make electric vehicles for the European market. Now, their goal in Europe is to be all electric by 2035, and GM is trying to do that worldwide. Now, Ford has not said if they're going to be fully electric by 2035 in the US, but they're obviously pushing towards electric vehicles. Now, while I said I am a fan of the Mustang Mach-E and do enjoy the performance of electric, I'm a fan of it as an option, not necessarily a replacement. So right now, like I said, is the prime time. We have the best gas-powered Mustangs available on the market, and if you want one, now might be the time to get behind the wheel. Now let's talk a little bit more about the Mustang Mach-E. There was a very, very interesting article on thedrive.com a couple of weeks back about the Mustang Mach-E. Now, we're all familiar with ADM, where these dealers take the latest cars that are really desirable and they mark them up. We've seen it on Shelbys and Bosses and all kinds of Bullets, whatever. We've actually even done a video on ADM and your thoughts on it and how it works. But basically, Ford has always stepped back and said it's up to the dealers. If they want to charge that additional money, they're letting the dealers get away with it. Well, that's not true with the Mustang Mach-E. Now, the Mach-E is a very important car to Ford. They want to get these cars out there. They want people to drive it and experience it and get behind the wheel. Now, the initial Mach-E's that were shipped to dealers were actually designed to be put into the demo fleet by the dealers so people can drive these cars and experience them. Well, apparently there was one dealer who actually got their Mach-E, stuck it on the showroom floor, would not let anybody drive it, and even put a $10,000 ADM on the sticker. Well, somebody tweeted about this, it got back to Ford, and for the first time ever, Ford actually shut that down in a hurry and said, no, there is no ADM on the Mach-E's. So basically, if you do want to drive a Mach-E, get out to your dealership. They probably have one, and it's a good possibility they'll let you take it for a ride. And speaking of the Mach-E, the latest Mach-E is now available for order, and that is the Mach-E GT and the Mach-E GT Performance Edition, which is going to be the fastest version available, and that's going to be 480 horsepower, which matches the Mach 1, and 632 pound-feet of torque through an all-wheel drive setup. So it's going to be a dual-motor all-wheel drive, making this car run 0 to 60 only 3.5 seconds. Not only is that as fast as the GT500, it will do it every time and do it consistently, where the GT500 takes a little finesse to get that number. The Mach-E, anybody with a right foot is going to be able to duplicate that number, which is pretty impressive. This car is going to come in around $66,000, and it actually has a bunch of different modes for the track as well. Now, because it's a GT and it's a performance edition, it's going to have Brembo brakes, it has Magna-Ride suspension, and it has 20-inch wheels with specially developed Pirelli tires designed specifically for the handling characteristics of an electric car. Now, this also has the normal unbridled mode, which puts all the power all the time. There's even a track mode now called Unbridled Extend, which will give you all that power, but actually allow the battery to live a little bit longer so you get more track time out of it. There is also a switch for the first time on a Mach-E that'll shut off all the traction controls, so you can have a little bit more fun as well. Now, there is one downfall to all that fun, and that is the battery. Because of the power that the Mach-E GT Performance Edition is going to have, your range is only going to be 235 miles, so if you're out having fun with the car, make sure there's a charging station nearby. Now, while not really a Mustang, we are going to discuss the new Lightning. Now, there's going to be a lot of Gen 1 and Gen 2 owners that are probably going to feel like Mustang people and feel that the Lightning name does not belong in an electric vehicle, but sure enough, that's where it's going to go. Now, the Lightning's returning in 2022, and many of us had hoped for the 5.2 supercharged engine or even the Godzilla to kind of be like the earlier Lightnings, but nope, it is coming back as an electric vehicle. Now, the Lightning name is actually, I think, very cool in an electric vehicle, and it's still going to be an F-150 chassis. Now, is it going to be a standard cab like the originals, or will there be other options? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. What we know, though, is it's going to share the electric motor setup with the Mach-E. So So it's going to be a dual motor all-wheel drive, and it's going to be the quickest 0 to 60 F-150 ever produced. So we're talking north of 450 horsepower and well over 600 pound-feet of torque, which should make it a lot of fun to drive when it shows up in the summer of 2022. Whether we like it or not, the time has come to start embracing and basically accepting that electric vehicles are probably going to be here to stay and enjoy the performance they have to offer. Now, we all love gas-powered Mustangs. Obviously, I love gas-powered Mustangs, but your ability to buy a new one is probably not going to be that much longer in the industry. So again, if you're looking for that Mach 1 or that GT 500, now might be the time to get one, get behind the wheel, and enjoy gas-powered cars. Now again, like I said, if you have the chance to drive an electric Mustang, do it. Go to the dealer, ask about the Mach-E, get behind the wheel, and see what electric's all about. Now again, you don't get the sounds that we're used to, and it's not the same, but the performance is there, and these cars can also be a lot of fun.